Hi, I'm Kelly Linehan, and this is a CKPG News special, Building Our History. History has always been a passion of mine, so I couldn't wait to delve into the past of Prince George. Everywhere you look, there are little reminders of what the city used to look like and the people who built it. Over the next half an hour, we'll tour heritage homes, civic buildings with character, and an antique church. All have a different story to tell and secrets we can't wait to reveal. We'll start at the Taylor House, though, where some very big names have called the little house home. The fireplace hasn't been used in a while.
Done really anything with the fireplace except for just...
The living room doesn't have much life in it, and there are endless little details to touch up.
Just too much of a height discrepancy, so we'll just do a piece of hardwood trim.
But for TREVOR HIGHAM, it's a project worth every minute of work.
These houses are fun to do. They're beautiful. They have so much character. You can't build something like this. You can't take a floor that's 100 years old and make it. You know, you can't put a new floor down and make it look like this. You can try, but you just can't do it.
He is the most recent owner of the Taylor House. It sat on 10th Avenue for almost 100 years.
This was a 1920 model, and that was sort of the height of cottage-style houses.
The cottage style is defined by narrow siding, windows with small divisions, as well as a unique roof line.
The roof style over the entrance there is called a bell cast. Now those bell cast roofs were on Grand Trunk Pacific railway stations, for heaven's sake, so they've been around for a while.
Before the Hyams called it home, two high-profile politicians did. Fred D. Taylor, for whom the house is named, became mayor in 1926.
They only lived in this house for 4 or 5 years, and then eventually became the Perry House. And H.G. Perry, of course, was a very notable old-timer in Prince George. He was Minister of Education when I was going to school, so that's a long time ago.
It's on the Heritage Register, which doesn't mean permanent protection, but the Heritage Commission does monitor proposed changes.
The Heritage Commission put out a book on heritage homes many years ago, and this home is one of them.
The Taylor House is a part of the Crescents neighborhood. It was laid out by the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway as a high-end area, thus the prestigious previous residence.
The Heritage Commission recognized this area with an award last year, the Crescents, just for all their work in preserving the character of the neighborhood. And that's really what it's all about, is recognizing our heritage and just appreciating that history.
While the rooms are still bare and the work unfinished, there's a lot of life still left in this old house. Owning a heritage home is a lesson in the past and also of patience. Older properties have their quirks, and the owners of the famous MOFFAT log house know that better than anyone. Bob and Janet Bigelow bought the house on a whim from friends and ended up raising their family here. They're on a very short list of owners, some of whom might still be here. On a quiet street in one of the first settlements of what would become Prince George is the MOFFAT House. It's an impressive century-old bastion of local history, inside and out. Homeowners Bob and Janet Bigelow have made sure of it.
That's critically important, is to maintain the originality of the home and keep it that way. We're like a custodian of it. You know, it's a piece of Prince George history, so we want to keep it that way.
Custodian is a good word for what Janet and Bob have done since buying the historic house.
There's just a lot of maintenance at being an older home, so you got to just keep on top of things.
From electrical to plumbing to renovating the kitchen, it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a new piece.
Yeah, this is a new piece.
That's it. That's the only new piece.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing we did was we had to replace the bottom log on the south side of the house. And that scared me a bit. But we brought someone in to do that one because we thought, no, that's very important to find someone else to do it. And we found out something really interesting about the floor underneath here, but I can't explain it.
Of course, in log house construction, your floor sits on a separate foundation log than the exterior walls. So, of course, you have your foundation around the outside, and then you have an internal foundation that supports your floor. So when we cut the log out to replace it, we had an opportunity to inspect the sub-foundation that supports the inside. And it was like it was built yesterday.
Over the past 100 years, the house has had very few owners, but the elite club does include some notable Prince Georgians.
Well, of course, the Moffats, they were not the original owners of the home. So John Monroe actually built the home and was here first. And then the Moffats came here in 1921 and bought it. They bought this home and started Northern Hardware, and they were here right through till 1968.
John Monroe came to Prince George packing thousands of dollars to open a bank. He built the log house in the central Fort George area. Whether it's Monroe or someone else, it seems one former resident didn't want to leave.
We've had some different things happen when we first moved in, but not anymore though. There was a few times it seemed like my vacuum cleaner, I don't know if it was just
we had one off. Well, with Kirsten.
Kirsten did upstairs.
That's right,
yeah.
And so some friends of ours had said, well, you have spirit in the house. So you need to go through this exercise to release the spirit and let them know that it's okay to go. And so we went through this. We kind of snuck around and did this outside ritual, make sure nobody's watching, and had a lot of fun doing it. But what kind of identified it was there's a room upstairs, and the cat would never go in it.
Yeah.
The cat would never go in that room. And
after that.
And then after we did this ritual, it was fine. The cat in and out all the time.
Once that presence was gone, it was just the Bigelows to enjoy. And it's a house that's easy to love.
Logs were popular 100 years ago, that's right, but this particular design is what we call a prairie house, and no doubt the idea came from looking in magazines at the time and so on.
Prairie-style homes are defined by clusters of windows as well as broad porches. It's unusual in its size. It's 1,700 square feet on the ground floor and 800 upstairs.
It is a big house, there's no doubt about that, because the typical log cabin would be about perhaps 1/4 of this house here. But certainly the logs were popular. There's no problem there. That's what we did have.
The floors are all original.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's all clear for planking. Yeah. And it's throughout.
As are the windows, bookcases, and of course the centerpiece of the home, the fireplace. It's a piece of history, and only the custodians have the keys. When building our history continues, the Moffats may have left the log house, but the family is still very much a part of the community. Next, we'll go to the store that's been keeping Prince George's shelves stocked for 95 years. Stay with us.